The house had been silent for weeks, yet every morning the same sound echoed softly through the hallway. A gentle thump, followed by a low whine, as if someone was trying to fill the emptiness that had settled over everything like dust. The first time I heard it, I thought it was just the old pipes expanding in the cold, but when I opened the door to my son's room, I stopped breathing for a moment because there on his empty bed, curled into the blanket that still carried my son's faint scent, was our dog Milo, his head resting where my boy's pillow used to be, his eyes half closed as if he were guarding a treasure he refused to let go of. I stood there frozen, my chest tightening until it hurt, because the sight felt like someone had placed a heavy hand on my heart, reminding me of everything I had lost, and everything that refused to be forgotten. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of love, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps this channel grow and keep stories like this alive for you. Milo lifted his head when he sensed me, and his tail thumped weakly twice before he lowered his face again into the blanket. He had always been close to my son. They had grown up together, running around the backyard, chasing each other, napping on the couch, and sharing snacks. They were inseparable, but after the accident, everything stopped. My son was gone, and Milo had spent days walking around the house, searching for him, going to the door, every hour, waiting, listening, hoping. Then slowly he began coming to the bed every night, and then every morning, until it became a ritual. A ritual I did not understand, until much later I tried to keep myself busy with work chores, anything that could keep my mind from sinking into the same darkness that wrapped itself around the house. But grief does not listen to distractions. It sits beside you in every quiet moment, whispering, reminding, insisting. I avoided entering my son's room for weeks, because every part of it still breathed his presence. But Milo had no such fear. He went in, as if he understood something I did not, as if he was protecting the only piece of our boy that remained in this world. Then, one night, I woke up to strange scratching noises coming from the hallway. I rushed out thinking Milo was stuck somewhere, but what I saw forced tears to rise in my eyes. Milo was dragging one of my son's shirts down the hallway, tugging at it with such careful gentleness that it broke me. He carried it into the room, placed it on the bed, then rested his head on top of it, his body curled around it like he was trying to comfort the shirt, as much as he was comforting himself. I leaned against the door frame, unable to speak, unable to step forward. Even my breathing felt too loud for a moment. I wondered if Milo felt the grief even deeper than I did, because he could not understand why the most important person in his world had vanished without a goodbye. Dogs feel everything without the filter humans have. They love without limits, and they mourn with the same sincerity. Days passed, and I began noticing something else. Every time Milo went to the bed, he carried something new, sometimes a sock, sometimes a toy, sometimes even a leaf from the yard, as if offering small treasures to someone he still believed would return. These small gestures slowly forced me to walk into the room more often, sitting quietly in the corner, watching Milo, watching the stillness, letting memories rise instead of pushing them away. And in those moments of raw emotion, something inside me began changing. Grief never disappears, but it begins to soften when shared, and Milo was sharing every silent second with me, without asking for anything in return. He became the bridge between my son's memory and my ability to keep living. But one morning Milo did not appear on the bed at his usual time. His absence struck me harder than I expected, and I hurried through the house calling his name, my voice trembling. When I finally found him, he was sitting at the front door, staring out into the yard, his ears perked, his body tense, as if waiting for something or someone. I knelt beside him, gently touched his head, and noticed something in his mouth. A folded piece of paper, dirty with soil. My hands shook as I opened it because I recognized the handwriting immediately. It was my son's childish, uneven scribble. The note was short, written months before the accident, a simple message he had apparently hidden somewhere in the yard. I hope Milo never forgets me. He is my best friend. Please take care of him if anything happens to me. The world tilted, and I had to sit down because the weight of those words pressed against my chest so painfully I could barely breathe. Milo leaned against me as if sensing the storm breaking inside me. He had been searching the yard and brought me the message my son had left, maybe by accident, maybe by some instinct that animals possess, drawing them toward the things humans overlook. I held Milo tight, burying my face in his fur, while tears soaked into his coat, and I whispered silent promises. promises to take care of him, love him, protect him, and let my son's memory live through him. From that day, something shifted. The silence in the house no longer felt like an enemy. Milo no longer visited the bed with the same desperation, but more like a guardian checking in, making sure the love in that room never faded. He would still curl up there sometimes, but with a calmness instead of grief, as if knowing his boy was now watching over him. Instead of the other way around, I began to heal, not quickly, not completely, but enough to start breathing again. Enough to open the curtains, let light in, walk outside, and face the world. I even began taking Milo to my son's favorite places: the park, the pond, the little hill behind the school where they used to sit together and throw pebbles. Milo would sniff the grass, wag his tail, and then sit beside me, quietly sharing the moment as if he knew these places carried pieces of the boy we both missed. Then came the evening that finalized our healing journey. The day had been long, and my mind heavy. But as I walked past my son's room, I found Milo already lying on the bed, looking up at me with soft eyes. I walked in, sat beside him, touched the blanket, and whispered, "Thank you," because in truth, Milo had saved me. He had carried me through grief when I had no strength to stand, and he had reminded me of something I had forgotten. Love does not end. Love transforms. It moves from presence to memory, from pain to purpose, from loss to something that keeps us living even when we are broken. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything, and it helps more people find these emotional stories that remind us of kindness and love and second chances. Please comment below one line that came to your heart after listening to this story. Your words matter more than you know.